BlackTop Radio. The BlackTop Radio. Mic check, mic check, mic check. You're now tuned in with Mike J. You know the host that do the most. How it feel when you got a rapper from the West Coast on the intro. So smooth. Now we can play the instrumental. BlackTop, BlackTop, BlackTop Radio. Where you can come and get your fix. We be talking about your baby mamas or some politics. First station out where you can tune and hear the hottest. Ain't no filters, you hear all of it. You ain't really popping yet if you ain't never been a guest. Wait, let me guess, you got on next. Got the airwaves on flex. Boom. BlackTop, what did you expect? BlackTop Radio. 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 The BlackTop Radio. 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 The BlackTop. BlackTop. BlackTop Radio.
It's the BlackTop 1011. The fam. Mike J. Miss Milan.
Yo, yo.
Micah Bam-Bamm White is
What
still
up?
in the building, ladies and gentlemen. And we are about to interview this brother here because this man needs to tell you all, okay, as well as BlackTop Nation, what's going on in these streets, because you've got a lot going on, as you mentioned at the beginning of this show.
Right.
This is a very eventful week, if not an eventful year for you.
Yeah, man, God is good, man. I'll leave that at that. Yeah, yeah. Because I done tried to mess it up. God won't let me.
Well, that's a blessing. That's a blessing.
Yeah.
So, of course, tomorrow, Bad Thursday.
Right.
So tell us, what can people expect?
So Bad Thursdays is the open mic that was started about almost 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, let's say. I was having a conversation with a homie of mine, AJ Brewer, at Brewer's Cafe, and he was like, "Bam, I want to do some work with you." I was like, "What do you want to do?" He's like, "I want to do a show," and he wanted to initially do a stand-up comedy open mic. And I was just like, if you're really trying to build something and make money, that's not a good idea.
No, it's not.
I said, and he had a budget. He had a budget, and it was a respectful budget for me to go ask a couple of musicians and people to spend some time. So I went and asked my homeboy Doug, "Hey man, I'm doing this open mic. You want to host it with me?" He was like, "Yeah." Then Doug was like, one day, like 2-3 weeks later, before we were about to do it, Doug was like, "Yo, Amber," she said she's down to join as a host, if we want to bring in a female. I said, absolutely. So it ended up being the three of us. 2.5 years. It's a space, live band. The homie DJ Hammer rocks out with us at Vagabond. You had a lot of Richmond's great artists come out. And I think it's come to a point to where the quality of the open mic artists that show up are so good that people that kind of just want to and do open mic won't come up. Because they're like,
it's kind of intimidating.
But we're here for everybody. We want somebody. I mean, I wasn't funny as I am now when I first started, but thank God people opened up stages for me to be able to go and work on my craft.
Practice.
So that's what the open mic is about. It's about being there, coming in. We do get to bring in a lot of dope artists because our band is so good. And I'm not bragging about the band. I'm just saying what it is. We have, for an open mic, we have a very good band. So I think a lot of great artists, they're attracted to the fact that if I sing, I'm gonna be singing with that band. If I rap, I'm gonna rap with that band.
Right.
And then the vibe is dope. I mean, the three of us are idiots. Amber's an idiot, I'm an idiot, Doug's an idiot. So you get that vibe too of just this in the moment type of authenticity. We don't come with no pregame agenda. Whatever happened that night, you'll never get it again. Only the people that's there that night understands what that night was about, because it's not like any other night. Everything's different. We create themes out of every night because something happens every night that we're there that we just, as a comic, the way my mind works, I'll grab it and just make that something we talk about all night.
So it's not a pre-planned thing.
It's never pre-planned.
Okay.
No, all we do every week that's pre-planned is set up.
Okay.
Everything that happens after we set up and hit the power button, everything that happens after that is
free flow.
Is what happens.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
It sounds like a good time, though.
It is a good time. So come check us out tomorrow night. Actually, Amber She was out for months. She was out since February because she had broke her femur in Vegas in the rain. And she was walking in some Crocs. It was raining. She went to step up on something, slipped, fell, broke her femur. So she's been out since then. So tomorrow is her first day back since February. And today is her birthday. So tomorrow we'll be celebrating her birthday.
Oh, well,
so
happy
it's
birthday.
double celebration for Amber tomorrow. So happy birthday to Amber. Yeah, so tomorrow's going to be crazy. And Amber brings... Amber's slogan at Bad Thursdays is everybody knows is shake ass. Before you leave, you're going to shake some ass. That's what Amber always says. So tomorrow, and since she hasn't been there, I'm just like comedy. Singing, I rap, I do all that kind of stuff. Doug is more singing, perfection. So that element that Amber has always brought has been missing. So tomorrow, I know if you come tomorrow,
So turn up, especially for her birthday.
it's gonna be a straight turn up. I already know.
Oh yeah, y'all make sure y'all show up.
Yeah,
That's gonna be awesome, man.
Yeah.
I just learned something new too. I was always wondering what a femur was.
a femur. It's the strongest bone in your body, bro. So to break your femur, you really have to fall in a way that's
painful.
it's the strongest bone in your body. It's in your leg. Yeah, it's like
You kickboxing or something?
No, she said she was wearing Crocs. It was raining.
Yeah.
She fell. And the crazy thing is, she said she didn't go to the hospital in Vegas because she thought she would be able to wake up and get over it.
Right.
But she got back and went to the hospital in Richmond, and that's where they told her femur was broken. She thanks God she didn't go to the hospital in Vegas because had she done that, she would have had to stay in the hospital.
They probably would have kept her, yeah.
Right. So, so tomorrow we celebrate the bad queen, Amber Hughes.
Shout out to that. Shout out to cancer season. We here, okay?
Yes.
All right.
Stop.
Jesus
I
Christ.
stopped.
You know what?
I didn't even go for you today.
Party poopers. So, sounds funny.
Right.
How did you put this band together, man?
All right, I'm going to say the fastest answer to this, which still is probably going to be a little long.
So wait, hold on. So you started off doing comedy.
Actually, so I'm glad you said that first. In Birmingham, Alabama, I started off doing music.
Oh, okay.
Music was the first thing that I ever did. Comedy was something I was always intrigued by, but I played a lot of instruments all the way through elementary school, middle school, high school. I had a band scholarship offer to go to Alabama A&M to play the tuba. I played piano in high school. I was in a national choir. We traveled the world, like doing shows.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it was at the time, our choir director was a brother by the name of Dr. Henry Panion III. When he was our choir director, he was also the musical director for Stevie Wonder. So, this was in middle and high school, so we didn't really know the type of...
how major that was at the time.
This was this guy's community service.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? Dealing with youth like us. So I was trained by a brother that was doing that type of work. Actually, he just came to Richmond about 2 or 3 months ago as a guest honored conductor of the symphony. And I tried to go see him, but I missed him. But so that's sort of my music background. The very first time I ever went on stage as an artist, I went on stage as a rapper. 6th grade, I went on stage.
What song? Your own?
Yeah, it was me. It was a rap group called Three of a Kind.
Okay.
Me, my homeboy Deesa Sanders, and my homeboy Rodney Abernathy. Rest in peace. Rodney lived right next to me across the alley. Deesa lived on the next block right in front of me. And we started this rap group. And the first time I went on stage, I'm going to say the rap real quick. This is the first rap I ever did on stage. All right, here we go. Have you ever heard about the Thriller in Manila? A hero, Dr. Jekyll versus Godzilla. I was all alone, chilling in my home. When Boogie Yo called me to the telephone, it was Mr. Sony, the TV man. He said, come quick, Godzilla's eating Japan. I jumped into my lair without a flare, and in 2 minutes flat, I was over there. I saw Godzilla headed south, with part of the city hanging out of his mouth. Well, the time had come for me to think quick. I reached into my bag of tricks. I led him down to the ocean, because that's where I keep my magic potion. Hey, Godzuki with your red hot breath. The word is out that you think you're fresh. I took my potion, hit him in the eye, shrunk him down to 2 feet size, picked him up, and that was that. I took him home and I fed him to my cat.
That's pretty good for 6 years old.
Okay.
That was sixth grade. Sixth
Oh,
grade.
sixth grade.
Okay,
That's
okay,
pretty
okay.
good for sixth grade.
Yeah.
That's good.
So that was like the very first time I ever went on stage. Brown Middle School, sixth grade talent show.
Oh.
So I left music behind when I started doing comedy. Well, I graduated high school. I did not take advantage of the band scholarship to Alabama A&M. I went to the military, got home from the military, and was trying to figure out what I was going to do. My roommate went to high school with Ricky Smiley. So, well, let me back up. My homeboy that I met, he ended up becoming my roommate later, but my homeboy that I met went to high school with Ricky Smiley. So Ricky Smiley had a comedy night. He took me, we all as like a crew went to the comedy night, and I'm sitting there watching the show, and I'm like, man, forget it. I'm going to do it.
Right.
So I asked Ricky that day, hey, can I do stand-up next week? He was like, yeah. So I went home all week, practiced in the mirror, went on stage. After like 10 seconds of being on stage, I was like, I'm doing this for the rest of my life. That was March 24th, 1996. And I was like, I'm doing this for the rest of my life. And walked off stage, music just went away. Like it had nothing to do with my life anymore. Everything was straight comedy. I was locked in on building a comedy career. 25 years in, I had my 25-year anniversary, and I was kind of like, I need to reinvent myself. Like, I need to figure out what's the next 25 years of Bam look like. I can't look the same way I looked when I was 26, per se, if you will. So what is the new? So then instead of like reinventing myself, I was like, just go back and do what you really love doing, which is music.
Gotcha.
So I did a show at the Robinson Theater in Churchill. I brought a band. I didn't know what I was really going to do with the band. I knew a couple of songs I was doing. There was a bunch of guys that were young cats that they weren't the best musicians. They're still growing good musicians. And I invited Doug to come and sing one song, Lovely Day, because that's the song I listen to every morning. It's like my theme song to start my day.
Okay.
I saw Doug sing Lovely Day at the Marvin Taylor Experience that Amber was hosting at Vagabond pre-pandemic. So I called him to come sing that song. Doug sat in the back of the room, watched my whole show, watched me interact with the band. Afterwards, Doug was like, yo, bro, I don't know if you know what you really got here, but you need to do something with this. And Doug was like, but you need better musicians.
You need to do it, but just not with them.
Yeah, you need better musicians. And no shade on the brothers that rock with me that night, right? And I was like, well, I want to rock with the better musicians. I said, but I don't know if they would trust me to really understand that I understand music.
Right.
So, and plus, I want to put work in. Like a lot of older seasoned musicians, they're done with the
They're
grind.
comfortable.
Right, they're comfortable. So I was like, I want to put work in. So I call these young cats, because these are dudes that I'm going to say, hey, we need to practice 2-3 times a week. And they going to be down for it if they trying to go. They still got, their dreams aren't tarnished yet. Their dreams are still fresh.
Right.
And if they can meet a brother like me that's still a big dreamer, they can believe in where I'm trying to go, and that can help them with where they're trying to go. But Doug was like, you need some pros. I was like, well, if you know some, he's like, who is on your wish list of musicians in the city? I gave him my wish list. He called me back the next day. He said, all of them said they'll rock with you, but one, only because that person's not available. So he was the one
That put it all together.
that put like the band to trust me. They all knew me. They had already seen me in the city. But he was the one that made that call to level. But then I was like, well, now I got to figure out, I need to rehearse with these dudes.
Yeah.
Thinking about the process of what I said earlier, young cats are rehearsed without wanting anything. These OGs and pros, they going to want something. That's why I created Bad Thursdays.
Right.
Bad Thursdays was initially created so that I can have rehearsal time with my band and be able to pay them to come to rehearsal time. And so that I could rehearse on being in front of an audience doing music now.
Right.
So that was like the foundation of why Bad was created.
Okay.
And once we did that for a while, I started to promote Sounds Funny as a band, as an entity. Everybody was trusting, and everybody still is trusting who they know me to be as a comedian. And when they call me as a comic and I know it's the right situation, I'm like, yo, I got a band. And they be like, you got a band? Like, yeah. I mean, what's that about? You know what I mean? And then I'll tell them what the band would cost. And everybody's been trusting me with my band because they feel like what they've seen me be and do as a comic, I wouldn't let the quality go down.
Yeah.
So that's how I've been getting my foot in the door with the band. And every time my band and us, we've been rocking out, we've been called back. So, this week, Dogwood Dale, that's not a small feat.
No, it's not. That's big.
And I understand it. So I think, on the strength of comedian Micah Bam-Bamm White, we're going to trust this dude with this band. Yeah, so, and the band is dope. I mean, I got pros. Everybody sings better than me that's in the band, hands down. I'm a musician. Everybody's a better musician than I've ever been and probably ever will be. So I've surrounded myself that's better than me in everything that they do, that I also do. The only thing that I feel like I bring that they can't is the energy.
Yeah.
I'm the centerpiece that kind of makes this thing do what it do. Yeah.
So based off of you and this creation, right?
Right.
That is now turned into a big thing here in Richmond.
Right.
Very heavily supported. For you, right, and your comedy career, and this is leading up to a question I asked during the break.
Okay, yeah.
They have such thing as comedy albums.
Right.
With you being musically sound, having a band, and then you being funny as hell.
Appreciate it.
Being very seasoned in the game of comedy. Could you ever see yourself putting together a comedy album that combines both the music and the jokes?
Yes. The answer is yes. First of all, let me go back to, I've been doing comedy, thank God, 28 years, which means I've been listening to comedy for 40 years. So when I started listening to comedy, there was no nobody really had a computer. Better yet, social media and all this other kind of, there were no cell phones. So we listened to comedy on albums. This was pre cassette tapes.
Right.
Like literally, if you think about I was born and started listening to music and stuff before cassette tapes even existed. So all I heard was albums. So my initial foundation and fire of what I think about comedy comes from listening to albums.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So in order to listen to albums and think about what comedy has gotten to the point today, I think making an album, not only is it dope, I think it's like, for me, nostalgic. Like it's like I want to put my work on an album.
Yeah.
So yes, I've always dreamed of that.
Okay.
With the band, it's levels to this thing, right? A lot of people come see the band. They don't really get as much comedy right now because phase one with the band is to get the audience to take me serious as being a person that can be with a band.
I got you.
I feel like they already know I can be a comedian.
Right.
So now, and then it's adding the comedy aspect, and then it's putting it on platforms, and an album is definitely to have my face with a band on an album.
That'd be dope.
Even if none of them sell, I don't give a damn. Just to have it would be something that I would be proud of myself about.
Yeah.
Right.
Put it on your wall.
You have that stamp.
Right.
So I mean, that's an idea because I listen to I literally just kind of found out about comedy albums. I didn't even know that was.
I've heard of them, but I've never heard one.
Right, I've never listened, but I've learned people win Grammys off of this. You know what I'm saying?
First, Bill Cosby as Bill Cosby. First time I listened to that was on an album. Red Fox. First time I listened to Red Fox was on an album. First time I listened to Delirious was on a cassette tape. Eddie Murphy's Delirious. So Delirious was like the first comedy, I believe, that was a new comedy that was on an actual cassette.
Oh, wow.
But everything before that, Red Fox, Richard Pryor, all that we listened to, that was my uncle and them playing it on an album on this big old stereo system that was this one-piece console. So everything was an album.
That probably was funnier too, right? Because you're literally trying to figure out what this person, literally putting a picture in your head versus seeing it on TV. Sometimes you just pay attention to the crowd or to the comic, but if you listening to it, that's probably even funnier than watching it.
All I keep thinking is about rewind that part back. That's all I can.
And if you think about an album, man, there is no. I mean, you can move it back with your hand, but there is no real rewind.
Right.
Yeah. So when we would sit and listen to a Red Fox album or something like that, I mean, you nestled in to listen to the whole album.
Listen to it through and listen to it again to get back to it.
Right.
Wow.
Word.
So, do you have you guys did like a tour or anything like that?
So right now we just rocking Richmond, and the first phase. So right now we just rocking Richmond because I think we're still in the development phase.
Okay.
You know, the band has been around, like I said. I've been doing comedy 28 years, so 3 years, and really been rolling about 2 years. 1 year is a 2 year, 2 years. So I'm no fool. After doing comedy for 28 years, I understand that it's levels, and you can't get everything you want from the start because what you have is not worth attaining what you really want. So you got to develop it. So I figure, you know, with the bands that we have in Richmond that I think are dope bands, Legacy Band, J Baxter and the Sauce, High Def, Opening Act, Plunky and Oneness, Coriel, the bands that we have in Richmond, I so respect that I look at if somebody in Richmond can say, okay, now you are like them. I'll know that I've done enough to now level up a little bit more, not to be better than them, but for the next phase of what I really want to do.
Okay.
And the next phase is really going back to doing opening. The next phase is opening for other major artists. I would do comedy in front of Patti LaBelle, Frankie Beverly and Mays. I would travel and do shows with, you know, a lot of bands, PJ Morton, blah, blah, blah. But after me, if it was a local situation, there was always this band, and often that band was a cover band. So I would be the opening comedian. I would introduce a cover band or a good band if it was a local act, and then the headliner would come up.
Right.
I want to be both now.
Okay.
I want to be the opening comedian and the cover band act. So don't give me 20 minutes and give the cover band their 45 minutes.
Right.
Give me the whole hour and 15.
Okay.
So I want to get back to that, and that'll be attaching myself to some great artists that are out here doing good work. At that point, I can market myself nationally, and then hopefully within 7 to 10 years, by that 10-year mark, I can go out as my own act.
Yes.
That is a full show. Comedian Micah Bam-Bamm White. I go up, I do comedy, I have this band, so you know you're going to get a whole entertainment experience.
Absolutely.
But it's going to take time.
Because you know we've seen like Jamie Foxx special, right? He'll go up there, tell jokes, but then he'll
sit down and do the piano.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Or what's his name, Craig Robinson.
Right.
You know, he'll go up there till. So I feel like that could definitely be greatness right there for you. You know what I'm saying? So that would definitely be something different because, well, not necessarily. Well, yeah, I guess you could.
It'll be different because of the way that I'll do it. But come on, man, in the game, nothing is new. You know what I'm saying?
I think Bernie Mac tried that a couple times.
Bernie
right?
Mac may have tried it. I haven't seen Bernie do it, but I know Ricky Smiley plays piano. He was the first comedian because, you know, Ricky put me up in the game. Ricky was the dude that took me in from the start. And I would watch him play piano and do comedy and sing. Like, I watched him do it, you know? So, and that was, I think part of that was an inspiration to make me say, I want to do it too.
Right.
Yeah.
So, as I mentioned before this interview, I was going to make him talk his, you know what. So, we're 28 years in. Mind you, this brother here has performed on Tom Joyner Morning Show, The Cruise. He's been on TV. He's been on comedy DVDs. I've seen, I first learned of him in 2012, right? And man, had me in tears, laughing. I was like, man, I knew Canessa King.
Canessa,
who hooked me up
yeah.
with you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he was my first interview when this very show first started, right? Before I even thought about doing comedy.
That's crazy.
So
That's crazy.
that is wild. Wow, that's crazy. So my question to you, we're 28 years in.
Right.
Do you feel you're underrated? I need you to talk today, okay? Do you feel like you, because I mean, mind you, we got some great comedians here in Richmond, but come on, brother.
Hey, man.
I need you.
I feel like, and I want to say this the right way, and it's not about what somebody might think about my statement, but it's about really what I believe. I think the God in me that has given me the gift that I have to have done the things that I've done has been minimized. Absolutely. I know what it is. I've seen other people do it. I've seen the gift that God gave them to do it. And I think those that are respected should be respected. But I know what my gift is. And yeah, it hasn't yet been honored in the way that I know it's capable of being honored. But I don't want to make that a statement of, you know what I'm saying, like I'm bitter about anything, because I'm not. You know, it's my if my time to come is in the books, it's gonna come. It's just my job to continue to work on the gift, use the gift, not be transactional with the gift, or be relational. Use the gift to serve people, not for self-induction. Stay humble, understanding that it ain't mine. So at what point do I say, you know, I didn't get what I deserve? I got to take care of it so that God can use it the way that God wants to use it for the reasons he gave it to me. So that's where I'm at with it.
Good answer.
I like
Good
that.
answer.
That's the real answer. I know it sounds
Okay.
so. My homeboy B was like, "You so political." It's not political.
But I get it, because I think for what I get out of that is, based on what we just talked about, I mean, it's so much more you want to accomplish anyway.
Yes.
So
yes. And I realize it's up to me. You know, I never want to leave it in the hands of somebody else to certify anything that I'm doing. I think when you think, you know, underrated means how other people are perceiving and treating you, which gives them, you know,
power.
The power. Right. And granted, the people do have a piece of the power, because they swear you in, or they be like, nah, you out. I mean, you know, so if you look at the business side of it, that's the thing. Do I think there's anybody that I would be afraid to step on stage next to, known or unknown? No. I mean, I'll stand on stage next to anybody.
Right.
And it's not to be in competition with them, but it's to let you know I belong, you know? I've been fired by headliners who I was supposed to do shows with because of my gift. And I've been told by headliners where in the beginning of the week, doing Funny Bones and being a feature act, where I would have 30 minutes to start, by Sunday I only had 7 minutes, because they don't want me to do that much comedy in front of them. Like I've been told by headliners, you need to tone it down. What is toning it down?
Right.
I'm not here for you. I'm not, in the grand sense, here for me. I'm here for the people and the gift that God gave me. So tone it down. How dare I disrespect?
Right.
What? And it's not to shine on you. It's not to do anything that's, you know, leveling up on you. But I can't waste a moment on stage. Telling me to tone it down is also telling me to disrespect this moment.
Right.
I can't do that.
And the people that paid money.
Right.
to see
So
you.
yeah, the people, forget the money, the people that chose to give that time to this show in life that they'll never get back. The $20 they paid to get in, they can get that back. The time they spent with us, they can't get that back. So you have to honor that. So no, I don't care, man, about you know, I ain't gonna say I don't care. That's a lie. My goal isn't to feed into other people's acknowledgement of my gift. So, and when I get it, I'm gonna get it. If I never get it, you know, nobody will ever say that he took it for granted, you know. And that's why unfunny people make it, man. I mean, it's all about the work ethic too.
Yeah.
Unfunny people that think that, you know, you aren't that talented, the reason they make it is because they work hard. You know, so I think a lot of people see their talent, they feel their talent, they compare their talent to somebody else's, and they think that because I'm this talented, I should have what they have, because you're measuring talent to talent.
Right.
But you're forgetting about the work ethic part.
The hours.
Right. So I can't let somebody else's opinion of me stop me from working hard. If anything, make it fuel me. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So you don't want to call me for Comedy View this year? All right, you just wait. Oh, okay, so you don't want to put me on Def Comedy Jam? Okay, all right, you just wait. Oh, okay, so you're going to fire me off the tour? All right, you just wait. You just wait. Because God has shown me what he's doing.
Right.
So, yeah, hold tight. And it's not to be against you. It's not to stop you. And, you know, I ain't never mad at people that's getting deals when I'm not getting one. Because if I see deals still going out, all that lets me know is that God is still creating deals.
Yeah.
The only dude I'm going to be or woman I'm going to be mad at is the person that take the last deal. That's who I'm gonna be mad at. But I don't think that's gonna happen in my lifetime, right?
I don't
So it's no
Right.
point. If anything, I get excited when I see people having things happening for them or to them.
That's good.
Because it means that these things are available.
Right.
It can happen for me. If it happened for them, and I'm no perfect dude. Like you heard me say earlier, man, my career, I done stuff to try to mess it up. And God's just like, nah, you know, I'm gonna punish you for that. But we're gonna keep this thing going. Because I need you to keep this thing going. And then it's come to a point where I'm like, all right, God, I got it. Okay, you need me to keep this thing going. So now I gotta change some habits in my life so that I can help you with what you're trying to help me with.
Right.
Yeah.
Word. So, you know, I got 2 more questions.
Okay.
So, out of the 28 years of you doing comedy, what would you say is your most highest point? Or I guess your favorite, your highlight
Right.
out of the 20 years? And what would you say is the is the low light of the out of those 28 years of comedy, man?
Well, I'm gonna start with the low light first, because you know who wants to end on a depressing note. I would say, man, it kind of coincide with what you just said. The low is you know, as a human and just being real and authentic and transparent. I know after 28 years, I shouldn't be still working as hard as I have to work to get the little bit I'm able to get, relatively speaking. It's a self-reflection of, you know, maybe I was scared for a long time. Maybe I was scared to be successful because I really, again, that underrated thing. I can't put blame on nobody else. I got to look at the things that I've done to get to where I know I'm capable of being. And I can look at a lot of things and say, dude, you didn't do that the right way, you know. And I think, you know, that's a low point for me to watch and observe where I've lacked execution that is to blame by nobody else but myself. And to look at why I am in the position that I am and where I am feeling like I could be in a different situation and own what I did or didn't do to be where I am. That's the low point. But I want to say it's a dope thing to be ashamed. The ability to be ashamed is a phenomenal thing, because that's where the fire comes from that makes you shift. Because if I didn't observe myself, if I didn't say this is where you need to be better, if I wasn't ashamed of some things, then I would think everything was all right and I never would change and the results would stay the same. So I think the ability to be ashamed, the ability for your conscience to kick in and be like, yo, you need to do that better, is some stuff that I appreciate within myself, but at the same time, I kind of look at myself and go, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Yeah.
That's a low.
Okay.
The high is to be able to look at 28 years, just look at the same thing, to be able to look at 28 years of doing what I've been doing and say, man, look who started with you and who ain't there no more. You know, so you done either one of 3 things. You are stubborn, you stupid, or you really do believe in yourself.
And not only just you, though, other people, because you're still doing it.
Right. I mean, so either you're stubborn, you're stupid, or you really do believe in myself. And I think it's 2 of the 3. I believe in myself, and I believe I am stubborn. Can't nobody tell me what I'm not going to be able to do. So I do think the high point is being 28 years You know, and to be able to create the money that I'm able to create without being a star, I'm proud of myself in that too. You know, it ain't comparative to what I think I could be, but what I was creating 15, 10 years, 5, 7 years ago, it's much more significant now. To be versatile, the way that I'm versatile, to be able to speak to many audiences. I had a lady last night at an open mic, was like, I came here because you're one of my favorite comedians, but you don't know me. And I was like, well, you know, blah, blah, blah. She said, but you're not my favorite comedian because of how funny you are. I said, well, how am I your favorite comedian? She was like, you're the reason my son went to Virginia State University. I was like, what? She said, well, my son is like late 20s, early 30s. But she was like, he went to school back in like 2012 or 10 or whatever. I used to do orientation at Virginia State University. Now, you're going to get this as a comedian about how difficult this situation is. These people will come from everywhere, 6 o'clock in the morning. They will sit in the auditorium 6 a.m. in the morning. When it became time for them to break out in sessions amongst the school, I was supposed to entertain and hold people in this space while they sent groups out. So I would entertain all 600 for 30 minutes. Then I would go off stage. They would send 200 away to start their process. Then I would have to go back out and entertain that 400 for 30 more minutes. Then I would go off stage. They would send 200 more away. Ooh. And then I would have to go back on stage and entertain these last 200 people for 30 more minutes.
Jeez.
So this is an hour and a half of comedy after people have been sitting there for 4 hours before I even came on stage that have traveled from Maryland, North Carolina, wherever they've come from. I had to do clean comedy. I had grandparents and young sisters and brothers and everything in between in this audience to have to entertain. And I did that for 4 years. And at first, one of my homeboys that does comedy was like, yo, you crazy for doing that. And I'm like, yo, I've always been the type of comic that I would push myself. I would put myself intentionally in uncomfortable situations because I knew that's the only way I could grow. When I first started doing comedy, I would have to go to the laundromat and perform. I like put laundromat to wash my clothes. If I had a show, and this was before the Funny Bone was even open, before Short Pump, it was cows in Short Pump. But I would go to the laundromat and ask like 10, 12 people, hey, I got some jokes. Y'all want to hear some jokes? And I would have people in the laundromat sit down, and I would do a show for people in the laundromat. So anywhere I would go,
oh, that's dope.
I would create a stage. Like literally, this comedy thing, people see me do it now, but like, so doing that thing in the morning at Virginia State, so she said to me, you know, my son decided, she said, after you performed, it changed his whole mood. He thought school was cool because you were up there telling jokes. And to me, I would think he thought school was cool because obviously, obviously, he thought I was funny. Because if I was whack, that wouldn't go help the situation.
Right, he'd be like, yeah, I'm out of here.
Yeah. So I think the high point in my life is, I go back to the question, I think the high point in my life is being in the game 28 years and being able to work my butt off to where I'm at the point to where I can sustain myself, make a greater living off of the art without being a star. Even though the low point is not being where I think I should be, the high point is still being where I am.
Okay. I like that.
Okay. Well, my last question is, if you can, remind these listeners and followers what's going on again this week.
Yeah. Coming
up for you. And is there anything planned for the rest of 2024?
Yes. All right, so real quick, I'm going to run down as much as I can, and then you can run this back and check everything out one by one. This particular week, Thursday night, we got Bad Thursday. Shout out to Amber Hughes. She's coming back after being gone since February, and there's also a birthday celebration. But if you're an artist, come out, hang out with Bad Thursday. We do it every week. Every first Thursday, we at Reveler, which is in Carytown. Every second, third, and fourth Thursday, we at Bam-Bamm, which is right there, 700 East Broad Street. So come check that out Thursday. Friday night, I'm at Jazz in the Stacks, which is in Petersburg, Virginia. Good bands at the library. It's free also. I'm hosting that. that, comedy, good time, good band, good vibe. Saturday night, come hang out, Dogwood Dale, 8 o'clock we kick off. It's good to get there around 6:30, 7 o'clock. Bring your lawn chairs, bring your food, bring your drink, whatever it is that you drink. Just be careful, make sure that you do things responsibly if that's part of your life. But come out, it's going to be comedy. My homeboy James Lawson, shout out to homie James Lawson.
Yeah,
he's going to come and do a couple of minutes with us. But it's my band, me, good entertainment time for the whole entire family, and also that is free. Throughout the year, follow us at Sounds Funny Band, SOUNDSFUNNY_BAND on Instagram. Follow me, Micah Bam-Bamm White, BAM-BAMM. That's how you spell the Bam-Bam White. Everything else is as it sounds. And then the last show, I would say, if you can't come out this Saturday to Dogwood Dale, September the 20th, which is the Dogwood Dale Festival last show of the year, me and my band, we're the only act that is booked twice. And that night is going to also be the day and night of my birthday. So September 20th, we'll be back at Dogwood Dale for my birthday celebration, the last night of the Dogwood Dale series, summer series. So come out, have a good time. Other than that, Bad Thursdays, come hang out with us. Yeah, that's it, man.
Okay. We might have to pop out to the birthday celebration.
I'm tired just hearing all that.
Winded.
Right. God is good.
All the time.
Right.
But I mean, that's dope, and congratulations to you on all the success and moves that you.
Thank you, man.
You know what I'm saying? Encountering all the opportunities. From me to you, man, I thank you so much for coming to the show, man, because, in case y'all don't know, man, this guy is my mentor, you know what I'm saying, in comedy, man. This is my OG. I learned a lot from him just watching him, whether it's telling stories, whether it's hitting the punchlines, whether it's his stage presence, or whether it's off the stage, the way he presents himself as a business, not just a comedian. You know what I'm saying? Those are things that I really just... Plus, he's just all around positive dude, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, it's show business. I tell people all the time, it's show business. There are more letters in the word business than there are in the word show. So you got to be up on your business. That is why less talented people make it, because they up on their business.
That's a fact. That is a
100%.
So, again, we appreciate you, Micah Bam-Bamm White, as always.
Yes, thank you for showing up.
We'll leave the door open for you. You can just come on in the room, as a preacher would say. You ain't even got to wipe your feet, Jesus. And tell them one more time where they can legally stalk you at, big dog.
Yeah, legally stalk me at Comedian Bam, Comedian BAMM. Follow us at Bad Thursdays at BADTHURSDAYS, Bad Thursdays as it sounds and spelled. And then follow us at Sounds Funny Band at Sounds Funny. Everything is as it sounds. Is bad. We're not cool. I'm 48. I don't replace S's with Z's. I'm sorry. I just don't do that. _band, BAND.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Go follow, go support, go check this man out at the shows.
Make sure y'all show up to the shows.
Show up and show